Bro is a skinny nerd who has trash social skills and never stands up for himself. But not to worry, because there's always gonna be a little radioactive spider to change everything. Wait a second. Wait a minute. This is fantasy. Because in the real world, there aren't loose radioactive spiders that are just gonna change your life in a random instant. Well, I bet they are, but I'm sure they do more bad than good. It simply just isn't that easy. But what can we learn about Peter Parker, assuming that there really isn't any magical spiders running about? The difference between Peter Parker and us is that we will make the wise decision to never expect change. This is Mikey, by the way. Statistics show us that it is more likely to actually die on the way to get a lottery ticket to actually win the money. In life, things are not going to magically change like they do in fantasy, like they do in the movies that we loved so much growing up. So instead of being a sitting duck waiting for change to happen, take responsibility. Never will you wake up one morning having a six-pack, always eating junk food, or for never doing any form of physical activity. I remember, me personally, I struggled taking responsibility for many, many years. I actually used to have like small little abs when I was 4 or 5, but then eventually I started gaining weight. I blamed everyone but myself for the life that I had. I blamed the slow metabolism for getting fat. I blamed multinational corporations like McDonald's for making food that tasted so good that was also just so unhealthy and garbage. I even blamed lack of time for not actually putting in the work and just starting to exercise. All these excuses had something in common. They were all excuses. What a vile and wicked word. Okay, you can take responsibility, but things still might not change with that alone. Because you need the two things that actually provoke action: clarity and determination. You get clarity through contemplation, and you get determination with a reason. My simple practice for this is to simply take out a pen and paper and ask myself these 4 questions. Number 1, in simple terms, what do I want it and why do I want it? Be honest with yourself. The why is especially important to invoke determination, because you've probably heard that famous quote, "He who has a why can bear any how." I think that was said by Viktor Frankl. I'll have to fact check that though. It's especially important to write this down in simple terms, because I don't know if you're like me, but when I have so much information that's just all out and about, because I know something that I want, I know what I want, I know the feeling that I want, but I don't actually know what that looks like, I will never strive to it in the most effective way. If you do not fully understand your goals and you're chasing a half idea, you will get half results, always. Number 2, what would count as having it? This is simplifying it but taking it to another level, because you can be striving for something, but if you never have an end goal, if you never have a point that actually counts as having it, you're just going to keep going for the rest of your life, and it's just going to be a never-ending chase for something that you will never get because you never knew what it was in the first place. For example, if you wanted to have an aesthetic body, you would need to know what that body would look like. Maybe it's to have strong legs and an even stronger upper body. Would you be really bulky, or would you be somewhat lean and a little skinny? You need to know what counts as having this thing, because you know exactly what you need to strive for, and this will help you with the next step. Number 3, how can I plan backwards to get to my destination? If you went on a road trip without planning ahead of time, sure, you might make it to your destination, but it's definitely going to take you a lot longer to get to the place that you wanted to be. And a lot longer in real life, not in just some hypothetical road trip, is an eternity. That could mean 20 years, that can mean 30 years, and something that you could just do in 2, 5 years, and depending the magnitude of your goal, could have just been done in a couple weeks. By planning backwards, you know where you need to go and the little paths that you can take to get there in the most efficient way. And the goal is, and although this can be hard, the goal is plan enough so that you can do actionable steps today. Just keep in mind that you don't want to be spending all your time planning, because the dude who just picked up the guitar and started playing the strings or like plucking the strings, he would be a lot better, be able to make a lot better music than somebody who studied it for 3 years and then decided to pick it up after. Because experience is always better than hypothetical. Plan a little bit and then just start, and then you'll figure it out along the way. Number 4, you need to know the exact reason why you have not been getting results. Now, there can be a million reasons, a billion reasons why you have not been able to get to this place that you want to. Maybe it's just you haven't started, or maybe it's because you don't have enough money to do the thing. But chances are that you're just afraid. Because like we've said earlier, if you have a reason why you want something, nothing's gonna stop you. So the only thing that can stop you, and although it sounds wishy-washy, is yourself. Sometimes you're holding yourself back because you're afraid of failure or the consequence or the things that you have to sacrifice in order to get the thing that you want, or to get to the place that you want. It's just like if you want to get an aesthetic body, maybe you're afraid of the time that you have to sacrifice for it, the amount of McDonald's that you have to sacrifice for it. It's that simple. I guess that's that. Also, I'm gonna try to guilt trip you with my dog. Subscribe, like the video, and watch this video, because this video is gonna help you a lot. I actually don't know why he stayed here though. Oh, I know why he stayed here. Because instead of McDonald's, I'm eating chickpeas. Such a healthy food. Stay positive, bro, and have a good night, man. Give me a fist bump. Actually, give my dog a fist bump.